A researcher named Turid Rugaas spent years watching dogs in situations that made them uncomfortable. And one thing kept showing up in her footage. Right before a confrontation escalated, right before a dog went from uncertain to done, they would yawn. Not because the afternoon light was soft and the couch was close. They would yawn directly at the thing stressing them out. She called it a calming signal. And what she observed in those tapes would eventually lead to one of the more quietly stunning areas of canine cognition research. Because it turns out when your dog yawns at you, they may be doing something far more deliberate than you've ever given them credit for. Here's what most people think is happening. Their dog yawns, and they think, cute, sleepy, relaxed, maybe a little bored. But when your dog looks directly at you and yawns, especially when something tense is happening in the room, that's a different signal entirely. That's communication. And I want to walk you through exactly what the research says is going on, because it's one of those findings that sounds small the first time you hear it, and then completely changes the way you watch your dog. So what is a calming signal, actually? The observations identified multiple behaviors, including yawning, lip-licking, turning the head away, blinking slowly, and moving in a curve instead of a straight line toward another dog. A dog using them is either trying to soothe themselves, de-escalate a situation with another dog, or communicate something specific to you. And here's the part I need you to sit with. Dogs don't just use these signals with other dogs, they use them with people. With you specifically, which means your dog has been talking to you for years and you may have been reading it as nothing. But now you know. When your dog yawns at you after you've raised your voice, after an argument in the house, after you've leaned over them too fast to clip their leash, they are not being dramatic. They're trying to lower the temperature. Think about what that requires. It requires your dog to have read the emotional state of the room, decided it's too high, and deployed a specific behavior aimed at bringing it down. That's not reflexive. That's responsive. A study published in the journal Animal Cognition found that dogs yawned significantly more often when they saw a human yawn than when they saw a control mouth movement. And this was stranger-directed. Dogs who had no prior relationship with the person in the room still yawned in response to that person's yawn. But the effect was stronger, much stronger with familiar humans. With you. Researchers call this emotional contagion. Your dog isn't mimicking you consciously. Their nervous system is responding to yours. And this is where it starts to overlap with something deeper than just a single behavior. Because a dog that yawns in response to your yawn, a dog that yawns at you when you're stressed and they're trying to help, is a dog that is running a continuous read on your emotional state and feeding it back to you. Every time you walk into a room, your dog's brain is already updating its picture of where you are emotionally. The yawn is just the moment that picture becomes visible. Your dog yawns at you and you've been reading it as dismissal, as boredom, as your dog checked out of whatever moment you were trying to share. But here's what the calming signal research is actually telling you. A dog that yawns at you during an intense moment isn't leaving the moment. They're trying to hold it together. They're trying to hold you together. Rugaas documented cases where dogs used yawning preemptively, before any escalation had even occurred, because they'd learned to read the early signs in their person's posture and voice. Your dog isn't telling you they're bored with you. In the most literal sense the science allows, they're telling you they care about what happens next between you. A 2020 study out of Budapest looked at whether dogs could distinguish between an intentional and an accidental yawn in humans. They couldn't reliably tell the difference from the yawn itself. But what they could do was factor in context. The same dog that yawned back freely at a relaxed, open interaction would hesitate or not respond during a scenario designed to feel confusing or unpredictable. The dogs weren't just pattern matching. They were reading the whole situation and deciding whether to engage their calming system at all, whether it made sense, whether it would land, which means your dog sitting across from you right now isn't just reacting. They're reading, deciding, and choosing when to reach back. And if you want to try something tonight, yawn slowly and deliberately at your dog. Not in a high-stress moment, just quietly, during an easy moment on the couch. Watch what they do with it. Watch if they give it back. Tell me in the comments what happened. I read every single one.